This is probably going to be one of the last hot days of the season. Early October, and it's still almost 80 degrees out here today, but it is time to plant some garlic. I spent some time earlier cleaning out the back couple of feet of these two beds. They're 8-foot by 4-foot beds. I'm gonna put hardneck garlic in one, softneck in another. I've never grown garlic before, but supposedly it can be helpful to give it a soak first in a sterilizing agent, either peroxide, alcohol, vodka, or something like that, for 10 minutes, and then you can soak it in a full-strength liquid fertilizer for another 10 minutes or up to 3 days. So I did the 10-minute sterilization soak, and now they've been soaking for 2 days in this fertilizer, which I meant for it to only be one, but you know how that goes. So here we are, we're gonna put it in the ground now. General guidance seems to be 6 inches apart and 6 inches deep for a really cold climate with several inches of mulch on top. So just gonna put these in the ground. I think I have basically 25 bulbs of each type, hardneck and softneck. I don't know the exact varieties, I just got them. Well, the softneck came a quarter mile down the road from our neighbor, and then the hardneck came 15 minutes down the road from a small farm who has an amazing farm stand. Wonderful produce. They didn't have the variety information on their little farm stands, so I don't know what they are, and I don't really care, to be honest. This is just a fun experiment. Like I said, I've never grown garlic before. I don't think it's hard. Doesn't appear to be hard. See what comes up in the spring. I don't know. It's one of those set it and forget it treasures that you find when you unearth everything, I guess. I mean, who cares? This bed's obviously gonna be a pain in the ass because the tomatillos are still in the way. It's about to get cold well, overnight. It's gonna rain tonight and be chilly starting tomorrow. And the tomatillos, I don't know if they're gonna be loving life after that, so. Oh, excuse me, little worm. So sorry. I don't know. They need to either hurry up and develop, which I've been trying to force them to develop because they keep putting out flower buds and I just keep clipping them off to focus ripening the fruits that are on there, which some of them, you know, the husks are actually, that husk is full and splitting, so it's like they're so close to finally, you know, that last round of tomatillos, which we've done pretty good. We've harvested off these plants twice already and made a couple big batches of tomatillo salsa, one of which is fermenting on the counter. I'm experimenting with fermented things lately, and tomatillo salsa is one of them. I'm very excited about. Well, did I just put that one in upside down? Layer. it's gonna rain tonight too, which is exciting because, you know, still in severe drought over here. I don't know about you guys, but I know it's been dry for a lot of people this year. But cool story about the hay. I was scrolling Facebook Marketplace, as that's where I do all of my acquiring these days. And I say acquiring because it's not shopping. I'm just looking for the things that I need. And boy, do I love free. Free above all else. But anyway, straw wasn't free though, wasn't free. But there's a lot of farms nearby. So one of my frequent search items has been straw because I've been wanting it for the strawberry beds, and also it's quite applicable in so many ways around the garden. I have been seeing this one post on Marketplace for a couple of weeks, and it was in Thetford, Vermont, which is about a 50-ish minute drive, and they were selling oat straw bales for $8 a bale. And I hemmed and hawed. It's a little farther than I wanted to drive, because just because I'm getting things for cheap or free does not mean I want to be, you know, spending a bunch of gas to go get them. So I hemmed and hawed, but nothing else more local came up. Now, the posting said he had hundreds, and I told him I only wanted 6, but obviously when I reached out, it's just sold out. But he gave me this phone number and this guy's name, and he's like, call him, he should have some. And at that point, it was just like, I don't feel like messing with all that. That was a couple of weeks ago. And then a day before yesterday, I opened Marketplace in the morning just to give it a peek. And fresh post, next town over, oat straw bales, $5 a bale. So $3 a bale cheaper. Next town over, instead of driving 15 minutes. And this time I told the guy 5, I don't know why. But of course, as one does, I get there and we realize that in my head, I think my trunk space is bigger than it really is. And you know how the story goes from here. I can only fit 3 in the trunk, but before I went over there, I messaged him and I said, do you know if it's had any pesticides or fertilizer used on it? And he said, pesticides, no. Fertilizer, I'm not positive. They came from an oat farmer in Thetford, Vermont. Come on. How funny is that? It's just comical. It's right up the road. Just have a little patience. Ask and you shall receive. Is that not another like classic example? I had to drive significantly less far away, and he charged me $3 a bale. He overpurchased because he just bought some for his garden and insulating around his house, and he just was like, I don't need any more. So I'm assuming he probably bought it from the same farmer, and now he's just reselling what he's not using. Yeah, so we can only fit 3 in the car. So we put 3 in the car, and I was like, I'll be back for the other ones. And we got back there and to load the final 2, and he was like, why don't you just throw an extra 1 in if you want? Well, I don't care. I originally asked for 6 the first time around, and the universe delivers. I got 1 for free. So I paid $25 for 6 bales of straw. You know, and obviously I just have to trust that pesticides weren't used, which can't imagine they were. This is New England. Everyone's pretty crunchy around these parts. But anyway, I'm just so happy. I've been sprinkling it around like these walkways. I've just seeded with New Zealand white clover. And so I was just trying to cover them up a little bit.
I know it's nothing new, but it's so good to see you. We do this every day, and I'm still so amazed by you. So hold me tight through the night. It's just us two, me and you. So lucky, oh, still can't believe you love me. I hope it never ends. Let's be more than friends.
Burr. It got chilly real fast. 2 days ago, it was 80 degrees and I was planting garlic. Then it started raining, and it rained through about midday yesterday, which was awesome because we needed the rain. But wow, did it bring the cold? It's 47 degrees out here, and it was 80 2 days ago. Since fall's here, it's time to get back in the woods. And I'm up to my next $0 project. Today I'm going to be rummaging through the woods and looking for, not looking that hard, but collecting a bunch of dead sticks and limbs and maybe bringing down some saplings that need to come down. I'm going to be making a dead hedge. If you've never heard of a dead hedge, I'll put some Pinterest images on the screen, but basically it's just making a fence out of dead sticks. They can really serve multiple purposes, such as adding some fencing or a border, and certainly lots of wildlife habitat, both, the good and the bad things. Adding all of that habitat to your garden area or around your yard just really boosts the biodiversity, which is a yes for me. So in this new phase of life where I'm finding so much joy and finding all of the ways that I don't have to save money, I am kind of looking at a dead hedge like a $0 fence, sort of, in a way. Obviously, I don't expect this fence to be predator proof by any means. You all know we've had bears and skunks and raccoons coming up in the yard, and it's certainly not going to hold out a deer, even though deer are not a problem here. Our next door neighbor has a giant food plot he feeds specifically for all the deer, so we don't have hungry deer even sniffing near our yard. In fact, I have not seen a deer since I've moved in, and that's really frustrating. It's sad, but I know they're here, but they don't care about our yard. So this dead hedge is more or less really just going to make a nice garden boundary for our different garden growing areas, which in our front yard is our raised bed veggie garden, and in our backyard is our more perennial food forest, or what will be. I think it'll just be so cute, and honestly, I had been contemplating this idea, but a little scared to do it because of how it looks. Obviously, not everyone is going to think a vertical wall of dead sticks is cute, so it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but honestly, I've had my eye passively on Facebook Marketplace on secondhand fencing, and I've been all over the book with what kind of fencing I'm looking for, welded wire or like those mobile electric animal fences. I don't know. I've been hemming and hawing about it. Can't really decide on what the heck we want to do out here. And also, I just don't want to spend any money, so I haven't committed to any kind of fencing. And maybe a couple months ago, I just happened to be driving by the neighbor's yard one day, and suddenly had started creating a dead hedge around she has a huge garden in her front yard that's, right open to the road. And it's kind of round shaped. And she made a huge dead hedge, the entire perimeter around it. Like perfectly circular. It looks so good. And it has 4 entry points, across from each other to get in with her wheelbarrow and whatever. And it looks so stinking cute. It just makes a really nice defined shape to her garden area. Once I saw her complete a dead hedge, I thought, no, why am I looking for fencing right now when I have all of this dead hedge material for free? So that's what we're doing. A good use for these for many people is to just kind of build on them in an ongoing way as you're cleaning up your yard and debris, throughout the season and year after year. You're just kind of slowly adding to it, but it gives you a place to put those items, especially if, say, you lived in town and didn't have a compost pile or, woods to just throw those things in. It gives you like a good use for them and then puts them to work back in your garden by adding biodiversity. So it just sounds like a great idea. I'm fortunate in that we have all of these woods here, and part of proper forest management is clearing out the overcrowded undergrowth and all the crowded saplings that are not going to mature to proper trees. That gives so much material to be piling in. But I can tell you right now, it's going to take a lot of material because, honestly, I plan to do the entire perimeter of both the front yard and the backyard. I'm just going for it. I'm just excited. I should have thought of this, you know, back in the spring when I wanted to buy some legit fencing and hemmed and hawed on it all summer, but it's okay. Obviously, it's been hot. I've been in the garden. Now fall's here. It's time to get back in the woods, and it's the perfect time to do it.
Opening, closing, all in one day. Blue sky, the violent rain. Feeling the dirt shifts, sensing the change. The dog has been shaken outside of a grave. Opening, closing, statements or phrase. Radio channels, curses or praise. News and instruction on it's for the pain. Bad conditions breaking everything. Strange weather, a time to be alive. Capital letters, the new wind in sight. Close together, just feels right. Strange weather, strange weather. Closing, both of these eyes. There's always a prophet, always a lie. A faraway poem, a fragment of light. Catching everything lost
Wow. This is a pretty great start. Come here. Obviously the dead hedge isn't looking very dead right now. It's got a lot of green in there, but it'll be brown soon. Not everyone's cup of tea, but I think it's coming out so cute. Like I said, this is gonna be a long-term project. This was a few hours so far, and I've only, you know, got what, maybe 10 feet and not even as high as I want it. So lots to be done here. You'll have to stay tuned to see how it keeps coming out, but so far I love it and I'm having so much fun doing this. That's what matters.